Hello guys and welcome back to Life with Paulie. I am currently sitting outside right now. The sun is shining. I'm sitting outside in the shade and the puppy is in the back of the car in the shade. As you could see, we are just relaxing here. She's getting tired. It is hot out today. The temperature is about 92, but it says it feels like about 100. And it is very hot out. I do have the fan outside blowing on me, trying to keep cool. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, I moved out of my apartment into my 2007 Saturn Ion. I'm parked outside here at my daughter's house by her shed right here, and I have a lead cord for my big fan. I don't have the big fan on right now because if I had it on, you wouldn't be able to hear me. But I just wanted to let everybody know an update that we are doing well. I just got done doing my front brakes, and that is done for my inspection tomorrow. However, today's video is going to go back to, I know I said I wasn't going to vlog again about the 8 passengers thing, but I need to say a few things. And the reason why I want to talk about this once again is because a lot of people on the internet, of course, you know, it's all over YouTube. Every channel is covering this story, and I just think it gets sicker and sicker every day. I suffered abuse when I was younger, and if you want to know my abuse story, you can go back and you can watch the 1-8 passenger video that I posted on my channel where I tell my abuse story. These people that use their children to make money on YouTube or social media, it doesn't have to necessarily be YouTube. People use their children for TikTok. People use their children for Facebook. And I think it is totally wrong for these parents to do that. Now, there are a lot of family channels out there. I'm not going to say every family channel is bad because there are some family channels out there that are very, very good. And that do not do the things that some family vloggers do. Now, if you don't know about 8 passengers vlogged for years and they put their kids on the internet almost every day. They would put embarrassing things on the internet about them shaving their legs and their first periods or whatever the case may be, and just sharing all their personal information, the children's personal information, with the whole world. And these kids really don't have no say in the matter, and I think it's very sick for parents to use their children for that. There's a lot of family vloggers out there that have actually quit their jobs. The parents, the wife, the husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, have quit their jobs because they're making enough money off of YouTube and their social media pages, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever the case may be. They quit their jobs and they live off of that income that their children is pulling in for them. A lot of these people would not have channels if it wasn't for their children. A lot of the family channels, of course, wouldn't have that money if it wasn't for their children. Now, I'm not going to say that every family channel is bad, because there are some family channels that are good and that doesn't abuse the system and don't vlog certain things. One of the channels that I like to watch a lot is called the Deddy Sisters. If you never looked up the Deddy Sisters, look up the Deddy Sisters. They do post vlogs once in a great while, but they are never vlogs of their children's personal information or them going to the doctors or them going through puberty or nothing like that. Most of their vlogs consist of singing. The whole family sings. Most of it is based on their religion, and they sing a lot of godly songs. So if you don't like that kind of content, you might not like the Deddy Sisters. But that is what their channel consists of, their daughters singing. Some of them are very young singing these songs. But they do not manipulate and use their children for money, for views, for content. These children love to sing and love to do what they're doing, and the parents are great to share that with everybody. But themselves, these parents doesn't share everything of their life, and that's how it should be. These YouTubers, family YouTubers, TikTokers, Facebookers, whatever the case may be, sharing their children's personal information, medical information, prescriptions that they're on, and things like that is just terrible, and I think it needs to stop. 8 passengers is very sick to me because they treated their kids like they were in army training. They treated their kids not with the love that kids deserve. Now, I'm a father, and I'm going to say that, am I the best father in the world? No. Every parent makes mistakes. And I made a couple in parenting, but I always made sure my children were taken care of. I became a father at 17 years old. I quit school and I got a job and I took care of my babies and I took care of the girlfriend, the mother of my children, for several years. Now, I didn't graduate high school. Like I said, I dropped out because I had to get a job because I had to support my children. I wasn't going to allow anybody else to support my children. So I got a job, and like I said, I supported my children. Now, of course, like I said, I didn't graduate high school so there was only certain jobs that I could get, but I always had a well-paying job, at least $10 an hour. And we're talking about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, something like that. And I always had a pretty good paying job, at least $10 an hour. When my children were babies, I used to buy their formula. I used to provide for them and take care of them. I never got help from social services. I never got food stamps. I never did none of that. I supported my children. And these people, the 8 passengers, Ruby Franke and her husband, I think are just disgusting of how they treated their children. Here their children are bringing them in money. They're making them millions and millions of dollars from YouTube. And Ruby, the mother, sits there and says, well, that's not your bedroom. I'm letting you use the bedroom in my house. What the hell kind of crap is that? I'm letting my child use the bedroom in my house when your children are the reason you have that house. I think that is just sickening. There was a video that popped up. I'm letting you use the cell phone. It's not your cell phone. It's my cell phone. I'm letting you have privilege to it. It's not your cell phone. It's mine. I'm letting you use it. And then when they grow up, the money's gone. Like their oldest daughter, Sherry Franke, is in college, and she had noticed that her bank account was wiped out. While her mother, Ruby, and the father vlogged these kids for all their lives and put them out there on social media and made millions of dollars off of them. And then these kids end up with nothing. They have to work for their own money. I'm not saying they shouldn't have to work for their own money or learn that responsibility, but Ruby Franke and her husband made millions of dollars off of these children and then throws them out like a dirty pair of underwear. I think it's absolutely disgusting and horrendous. And now the father's lawyer is saying, well, the father would like custody of his kids. He wasn't there when they were tied up. He didn't know nothing about it. But for years, the father was in the picture. They sent their oldest son to that Anastasia camp in Arizona or wherever it was to learn a lesson. He had to sleep in the forest, in the wildlife, with nothing. They did that. He was involved in that. They disciplined their kids way back then and was abusing them years ago, even on video. But he says he has no part in it. His lawyer says that he's a lovingly father that wants to take care of his children and keep them together. Well, where was the lovely father when they were tied up with duct tape and not being fed? Where was the lovely father years ago when they were being abused in several different videos? These parents used their children for the money and then basically threw them out. About a year ago is when all this abuse, well, actually, before a year ago is when the abuse started. But the real abuse started about a year ago. And I think these kids would have ended up dead if the son didn't escape and expose the truth. I think these kids would have ended up dead. And I don't think that Ruby Franke or the father would have had a care in the world, because it's like they didn't want their children. Yes, kids need discipline, kids need structure, kids need guidance, but they do not need abuse. And what they did was abuse these children and just used them for money. And to me, that is sick. Anybody that is vlogging online and uses their children is just sick to me. Now, for the family channels that do vlog online and don't show a lot of things and just vlog to show their life but doesn't show personal things. I mean, there are some good family vloggers out there that give their kids everything. And those kids deserve that because they're being put out there on the internet. They deserve a new car when they turn 16. They deserve a $40,000 car when they turn 16. If you're taking their life and you're putting it out there on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, they deserve a brand new car at 16 years old. You should be getting them a car at 16 years old. You should be putting money into a bank account. You should be paying for their college. They're your children. You decided to have them. You wanted them at first, and now you just want to throw them away because you made all this money. It's totally sick. If you don't want your children, give them to someone that does want them, that will care about them, love them, take care of them, and not abuse them if you don't want them. If you're unsure that you want kids, then don't have any kids until you're sure you want children. And know the things that come along with having children. Children don't deserve to be abused. They deserve to be loved. And like I said, yes, there has to be structure. There has to be discipline. You know, if a child does something bad and you take away a video game or you take away their cell phone for a week or 2 weeks or a month, that is one thing. But to tie them up with duct tape, to not feed them and starve them, to make them have gashes on their arms and legs from rope and duct tape is just sickening to me. Tomorrow is Ruby Franke's first court date, and I'm hoping that they do not let her out. I hope they ask for over $1 million bond. I hope they ask for like $1 million bond and she cannot bond out. That is what I'm hoping for. If they let her out, I'm absolutely going to throw up if they let her out, because that's going to be sick. I'm hoping that the first court appearance, I hope they do not let her post bond or make it so big that she cannot post bond. And the lawyer for the father, I think the father needs to be investigated more. I think they need to go back years ago. They need to look at all these YouTube videos, and they need to investigate the father too. The father might have not have been there. He was kicked out of the house a year ago. He lost his job in the spring of 2023. He was fired for some reason. Nobody knows why. Probably because of all this abuse and things going on. Technically, he said he wasn't there when this abuse was going on, when they were tied up, whatever the case may be. But they need to investigate him because he was involved in the YouTube videos for years. And he seemed like he was on that abusive side also. And I think he just needs to be investigated. You can't tell me that abuse was going on in the household and him and Ruby was together and he didn't know or act the same way Ruby did, because that's just a total disgusting lie. He needs to be investigated before any of these children go back to him. I think these children need to be placed in a foster home or with someone that will love and care for them, provide for them, and give them a better life than their parents did. Because they ended up with totally nothing. They were used and abused. They were put out there for everybody to see on social media. Everybody to see their personal information, everybody to see their personal things like puberty and shaving their legs. And it's just a very disgusting act. Just like these parents that put their kids on thumbnails, like in bathing suits and things like that on YouTube, is just sickening. Stop doing it for the views. Stop using your children for the money. If you're going to vlog your children and do family vlogs, do wholesome family vlogs. Don't do vlogs about personal information and personal hygiene things and personal puberty things. That don't need to be on the internet for everybody to see, especially when it has to do with children. You are the parent. You are the one that is supposed to teach the child these things. And you, as a parent, should be the only one that knows is what, you as a parent should be the only one that knows what's going on with your child in that aspect. You should not be putting it on the internet for everyone to see. Filming your children going to amusement parks and doing fun things like that, sure, that's a great video. Do things like that. But stop the other things. Stop abusing, using your kids for clickbait, using your kids for money. It's as simple as that. And that's all I got to say about this. And I just want to say, like I said, I'm a father, and yes, I made a couple mistakes being a father, but I always made sure my kids were taken care of. My kids always had food. I have 3 daughters. The oldest one is now 31. She's married with a husband. My middle child is in another state, living on her own, working hard. My oldest daughter, like I said, she's 31. She works hard. She's married. She's got a husband. He works hard. My youngest child, she's been having a hard time finding a job. So I just gave her all my stuff from my eBay business, because I do not do eBay anymore. But I do have videos for eBay on my YouTube station. So if you're looking for reselling videos, I got a lot of reselling videos. Go to my homepage, click on playlists, and you will see my reselling videos. But I just gave her all my stuff so she could start her own business. And she just opened her own TikTok store. So I'm trying to help her out still, even though she's an adult, because she's my child and I want to see her do good. I want to see her do well and be able to live and provide for herself. And that's what these parents should be doing. Let's all band together and try to get these family channels to stop doing what they've been doing. Having a family vlog, you can do lots of things other than film your children's puberty talks, to film your children's personal medical information, what medications there's on. There's other videos that you can do. You can do game night where you play games together. That's a perfectly fine family video to film and put out there on the internet. But stop all this other bull crap and stop using your children for money. I will see you in my next video. Sorry this was so long. Please consider hitting the subscribe button, the like button, the sharing button, and commenting down below.